All right, so because I've had this idea that I wanted to share with everybody from the parent night, and it's not about the message that I have, but if there's anything good that I have to share, I hope it blesses you guys, because I hope it's from the Lord. I just wanted to share, as a dad of a baseball player, and because of the relationships that we've built with the people that are probably going to see this over the last 3 or 4 years, depending on when we join the team. I wanted to share how I think the biggest thing that I've grown in since my kids were very young is the understanding that my initial thought when I have this little child in front of me is, I want the best for them. I don't want them to struggle with anything. I don't want them to go through anything. But growing in my relationship with God and seeing in His Word that He loves Ashton more than I ever could. And He loves my children even more than I do. And He loves your children even more than you possibly can. That if we put our kids in His hands, and not because we expect that their life is going to be easy, but in fact, to have the understanding that trusting God to grow them into what He wants them to be, how He's going to use them to change the world around them, to bring His kingdom and His message and His love to the world, is quite different than wanting them to not struggle with anything. On the contrary, they will go through things. They'll go through things that are difficult and hard. But trusting that, like it says in Romans 8:28, that He works all things together for the good of those who love Him and called according to His purpose. So I have changed my approach, that God would not put them through anything difficult, and instead trust that whatever He puts in front of them, that He's going to grow them, He's going to challenge them, He's going to strengthen them, and in that they are going to become stronger, not just weak because life is easy. Strength doesn't come through ease or comfort. Strength comes through challenge. Watching Ashton grow over the years and seeing the young man he's become, he really is one of the greatest people that I know. He's one of the best people that I know, and it's not because of him, it's because of the Christ in him. It's because of the trust that he places in God. And I know he's gone through things that are difficult, not near as difficult as others, more maybe difficult than some, but whatever it is, I trust that God has been with him. And in that, in his relationship with God, even when he was young, he valued friendship. He valued what it meant to be a part of a team, and even just more than that, be a part of a brotherhood of believers. And because of the Flames, he has built some of the closest relationships of his life in JJ and Gavin and even Jack, who has moved on already. And they're all going to be moving at different paces and in different places in their lives, and yet they've built a bond that is forever. Ashton, one of his favorite verses in the Bible is John 15:13. No greater love has any man than this, that he lay down his life for his friends. And his favorite movie has always been The Lord of the Rings. And even as a kid, we would talk about that relationship of this group of warriors, of men who are ready to sacrifice themselves for that which is good. And in that, building a bond and willing to sacrifice themselves for each other. And my favorite verse, one of them has always been the one right before that, and they go together in context. Because in John 15:12 it says, Jesus says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you." And so to know how much he loves me, to know how much he loves my son, and to want to share that with anybody who's willing to hear, not because I know what is good, but because I do, but I'm not asking anyone to take my word for it, but instead to seek God and ask him to show his love to you. So I didn't want to take forever. I wanted to say thank you for the relationships that we've built, because as our sons have built relationships together, many of us have spent time together and shared our lives with each other, and I'm very thankful for that. I ask that if there's anything I could do for anybody, that you would let me know. I mean, I by no means have everything together or am perfect, but I do know that God has loved me even through my faults and failures, and I know that he is the answer to anything that we have that is put in front of us in our lives. And so in order to be a good steward of the relationships we built, I want you to know that I pray for our boys. I've prayed for the parents on our team as well, and I'm just very thankful for the years that the time at Lee University, the blessings that it's brought, not just to my son, but to Devin and myself. I know that the closing of this chapter it brings a lot of emotion, but I do see that there is another chapter that's opening up in the lives of the boys that are getting ready to move on. And I don't know what it holds, but I know that if Christ is the center, then it can hold nothing but good. Not that everything will be perfect, not that trials and tribulations won't come, but that if they hold tight to the God that loves them and has a purpose for their life, that they will do things to change this world for the better. So that's all I really had. I'm thankful that some of you actually wanted to hear that. Again, it's not so much that I have anything good to give other than Christ, and there's nothing better I could give to anybody than the message that he loves you. His grace is sufficient. There is nothing that we can bring to the table that makes us worthy of his love. So holding off and waiting until you're perfect or until you're doing things right, it's impossible. You'll never get there. So just know that you're loved, and know that your boys are loved. And if you lift their name to Christ in prayer, you're putting them in no better hands. So love you guys, and I just hope that's a blessing for somebody.